we'll be discussing more subtleties about it. Om Sahanavavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Sahaviryan Karavavahai Tejasvinavaditamastu ma Vidvishavahai. Om Shanti 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 Hari Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om. Vasudevendra Yogindram Natva Jnanapradam Gurum Mumukshunam Hitarthaya Tattvabodho Vidhiyate. So, the author is saluting to his Guru, Gnanapradam Gurum, the Guru who has given him the knowledge, who is by the name of Vasudevendra Yogendra. What for? Because he is going to tell this knowledge about Tattvabodha. He is going to unfold the knowledge of the reality of things. What for? Mumukshunam hitarthaya, for the well-being of mumukshus, for the well-being of those who desire moksha. What is moksha? Moksha is the desire to be free. Free from what? Free from bondage. What kind of bondage? A seeming bondage. A bondage which is not really there, but which is felt by us all the time. That sense of helplessness, that sense of limitedness, that sense of unhappiness, that is the bondage being talked about, and that bondage is not the reality of that is not a reality, but it is a notion on our part. And how is it a notion? That is unfolded through knowledge. So through knowledge, what is done is all our notions are being addressed rationally. Intellectually, we are shown the reason why we have come up with such a notion, and so our mind is made to understand things correctly, so that we can now drop off all those notions, and as our notions are shed off, we gain a broader understanding and a better understanding of the reality. So this is how through Tattvabodha we are being shown our true nature, we are being shown the true nature of Ishvara, and we are being shown the true nature of the world. Anything other that I consider other, be it Ishvara, be it the world, be it my neighbor, be it my husband, be it my wife, be it my employer, be it my employee, and all the interactions and all the chaos are why? Because I see people as other. And so whole Vedanta is about addressing our different notions, making us free from this sense of separation that we are feeling from each other, and making us see that although we see the separatedness between each other, it is not actually real. It need not be real. Why? Because I see separatedness even in my dream. When yesterday in my dream, I got a dream. What? I got a dream that I am taking a class. I am taking a Tattvabodha class in my dream with Tula, Shivani ji, with Sajani ji, with everybody. I was taking a class. When? Yesterday in my dream. And when I was taking that class, I was seeing Tula, Shivani, Sajani ji, everybody as different from me. But
Yeah.
were they actually different from me? Or was it just I projecting upon myself the idea of this is I, Pushti, the seer or the teacher, and this is I, and this is Tula, who is separate from me? Were they not the same being? Were they not the same conscious being? So, just as in dream, how even though it is just one consciousness, and still it gives us a sense of separation. Just and even though we feel it very intimately, it need not be real. It is not real. That we realize when we wake up from a dream, we realize that, oh, yes, I had this dream, but it was not actually that, that the Tula, Shivaniji, Sajaniji that I saw in my dream were actually different. It was the same entity projecting all these notions. They were just some projected idea by my mind. How I readily accept it. So also in this waking world, which is like a dream of Ishvara. Like I have a dream, uh, like I and you have a dream. So also Ishvara as if has a dream, and his dream is this waking world where we all see things, where there is some commonality. Like when we see some red color, then you also see that same thing as a red color. All of you see the same thing, but my dream and your dream will differ. However, in Ishwara's dream, there is some commonality that we are all seeing the same things, and so it is difficult for us to right away negate it. But Shastra shows us that, see how in your dream, even though it was the same entity, you felt the separatedness. Even though it was a notion, you took that separatedness as real. And so also, if you understand what the Shastra is trying to teach you, you will understand that yes, in this Ishvara's dream, even after knowledge, you will continue to see like different people, but your understanding will change, that although I see people as different, they are not actually different. It's one principle alone which is appearing as this different entities. Entity is only one, but it is an appearance. It is an diversity is an appearance. Reality is the 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 unity in all that, the core. Like the necklace, the pearls in the necklace are many, but the thread that connects those pearls is one. And so this is what the Shastra wants to reveal to us, and it needs a very subtle mind to be able to understand whatever the Shastra is going to reveal. And so, for that, for making our mind subtle, a certain preparedness is also needed, and that is called adhikaritvam, eligibility. And Shastra will also show us how to make our mind eligible so that our thinking, our rational becomes more subtle, so that we are able to accept uh, the Shruti Vakya. We are able to accept what Vedanta wants to show us, and we are able to see along with the Shruti, along with the Vedanta. Shruti meaning Vedanta, Shruti meaning Bhagavan. So Bhagavan wants us to Bhagavan wants to show us something, and we have to be able to see what Bhagavan wants to show. And for that, this ordinary eyes and mind is not going to work. The mind will have to be made subtle. And so, the knowledge that will be unfolded is also very profound. It is not that I'm going to speak something and then you will be unable to understand. It's not an intellectual thing. It's going to require some work on our part, some preparedness on our part, so that we can employ ourselves into making that mind subtle. And when we hear this over and over and over again, then our old habits will be displaced eventually, and then slowly we will be able to assimilate, slowly we will be able to knock off those notions, and slowly happiness, which is our own nature, it will manifest. So happiness is not something that has to be created. Happiness is our nature. It is only obstructed by some obstacles, and we are here. Vedanta is here, Bhagavan is here, Bhagavan's teachings is here just to remove those obstacles. So we are timelessly, since many births, in search of something. What is that we are in search for? We are in search for happiness. What kind of happiness? Limitless happiness. We are in search of happiness that is not limited to some place called Toronto or Delhi or Dehradun. It is not limited to some time that only morning Brahma Muhurat or only night, not during work. And it is not even limited to some object. So this is what we are looking for. We are looking for a happiness which is not mixed up by even a drop of unhappiness, and we are looking for a happiness that sustains itself for the entire length of time. That's what we have been looking for in and through all our desires. It is not the desire, it is not a particular object, it is not a particular person, it is not a particular situation that we are looking for. What we are looking for is a comfortable self, a self that I can accept. Self-acceptance is what we are looking for in and through everything. And why are we looking for that self-acceptance? Because I when I will accept myself, then I feel I am happy. So this is what we have been looking for. Self-acceptance is what we have been looking for in and through all the desires. And why we are looking for self-acceptance? For happiness. So ultimately, what are we looking for? We are looking for that limitless happiness. So this is the goal, and Shastra Bhagavan wants to show us that in fact is your very nature, and that is going to be unfolded. How? Tattvabodha. This text will give us the method, prakriya, on recognizing all this. Stepwise, it will take. It is so the unfolding is not just a statement. It is a prakriya. It is a method. In algebra, how you used to arrive at your solution, so you go through some steps, and so also here also, Shruti, Bhagavan, Vedanta will take us through some steps so that our mind can take it slowly, advance a little bit, then again take it slowly, advance a little. So that's going to be the method. Okay, so the second statement is for whom is this going to be said? So who is going to be the audience? So it is said sadhana chatushtaya sampannadikarinam moksha sadhana bhutam tattva viveka prakaram vakshyamah. We will say what? Tattva viveka prakaram. All this that I said, the method. So we will say prakaram, the method of what? Tattva viveka. We will tell you now the method of doing the tattva viveka, of doing discriminating what is real, what is not real. Discriminating what is actually the essence, what is actually the truth. You're looking at a lot of things, but time and time again, you feel that people are not staying true to their nature. So, we are going to tell you that tattva, which does not change, so that you are able to discriminate, you are able to separate in your mind that, okay, in everything that you encounter in life, there is something that is changing, there is something that is unchanging. So, once you have this understanding of what is changing and what is unchanging, and you make sure that you are not expecting something which that particular object or entity or situation is not able to what's the word, commit itself to. When you understand things properly, then you are not going to expect something change less from something changing. So all these kind of discrimination that we have not done so far, because two things have mixed up in our life, in this world, and we have not been so far able to separate it. And so through Tattva Viveka Prakaram, through this method of discriminating what is real and what is not real, we are going to show you this method of how to separate this as though unseparable entity. That is what we are going to show you. Why are we going to show you that? Moksha sadhana bhutam. Because for moksha, for freedom, this is the means. What is the means? Doing this kind of viveka is the means for gaining freedom. And to whom are we going to tell this? To all of you. But assuming what? That you are sadhana chatushtaya sampanna adhikarinam. You are eligible students. Who are eligible students? Those students who have this fourfold means. What are those fourfold means? That the text proceeds. So then we had discussed so far that the whole text is in the form of the student asking a question and the teacher replying to that question. So the student asks, sadhana chatushtayam kim? What are the fourfold sadhana? What are the fourfold means that I should be eligible, or that the audience, that the seeker should be eligible, so that he becomes eligible for this Tattva Viveka? What are they? And it is listed. Viveka, Vairagya, Shamadhi Shatka Sampatti, and Mumukshutvam. So, Nitya Nitya Vastu Viveka. What kind of Viveka? What kind of discrimination? There is something which is Nitya, that is something which is unchanging, and Anitya. There is something which is changing. So, in order to do this Tattva Viveka, I should be able to discriminate that, yes, I am seeing this situation or this person and I am reacting, but I have to understand that in when I'm interacting with that person, there is some aspect of that person or situation which is changing and some is unchanging. So we have to discriminate, we have to be able to mentally, intellectually, cognitively be able to separate the two and not superimpose the two into one. Example given is what? Uh, Example given is of an iron ball. It is going to be told again, but here also it can be applied. An iron ball. When in a furnace, it is, there's a fire in the furnace and the iron ball is inserted inside. Then after some time, what will happen? The iron ball will appear red. What is the color of iron ball? Is redness the color of the iron ball? No. Redness is not the color of the iron ball. It is because of fire that the iron ball appears as red.
It's
Iron
black.
ball is just black. Yeah. But it is appearing as red. What about fire? Is roundness the shape of fire? No. So roundness is also not the shape of fire. And redness is not the color of iron ball. But as if the association of fire and iron ball has given rise to this so-called red hot iron ball. Is there such a thing called red hot iron ball which never changes its, its redness or its heatness? There is no such thing. But because of two different things coming into association, it has given rise to this so-called red hot iron ball. But when we do this viveka, we do this discrimination that the redness in that iron ball is because of fire, it's a temporary, you keep it outside for a day. Is it going to remain red hot always or is it going to drop? Fire will lose its, round shape and iron will lose its redness. So in that red hot iron ball, something is changing, something is unchanging. What is unchanging? The ironness of the iron ball is unchanging. Whatever was incidental, the redness and the heat, that eventually will drop. And so also in our day-to-day interactions, there is something which is unchanging and something which keeps on changing. So far in my life, I have been going after the changing things, expecting something changeless out of it. Not understanding this reality, I have always become what? Frustrated. I have always felt like a failure and helpless. So, understanding where is my helpless arising from, understanding what is the reason for my so called unhappiness, so called unsatisfaction, so called um, self non acceptance is because of some expectation. And what is that expectation? That I'm expecting something from an entity or thing which the thing is not able to give me. From from a changing aspect of a thing, I am expecting it to be changeless. So this is the first Viveka. To even simplify this, the society that we confront, we find it is changing. It is always anitya, right? Changing. But there is one nitya vastu. Bhagavan, Bhagavan, Ishvara is the one nitya vastu. This I have heard from the Shastra, and so with Shraddha, I uh, I move ahead. That yes, Bhagavan hai, Bhagavan is there, Ishvara is, uh, and that Ishvara is, it's he or she, Ishvara is infallible. Ishvara is not someone who fails me. Everything else that I confront, they seem to appear to promise me something, but they do not live up to those promise. This much I know. Even this new job that I have taken, it seemed to, it seemed that it would give me so much happiness, but as soon as I, start working for a couple of months, I know that, even this is not capable of giving me that happiness. So this I know through my everyday experience. So nitya anitya vastu vivekah. There is something which is unchanging, which is not permanent, and there is something permanent. Ishvara is permanent. Second sadhana is what? Iha mutra artha phala bhoga viragah. So viragah, dispassion. Dispassion in what? In the pleasures uh, from experiencing the sense objects of the world here or afterwards, like Swarga. After death, I will go to some other place, to some other realm, and then I will gain more happiness than the human world. So this kind of, this was more of a Vedic time. But right now, what kind of desire do we have? That okay, right now I'm in India, so I will, go to a restaurant or a nice vacation, and then I will earn something more, and then where I will go to Switzerland or I will go to Paris. So we may have the expectation of going to different places, and we don't have a samskara of going to Swarga and having those kind of happiness. But we do have samskaras of, um, just give me a second. Okay, sorry. So we do have samskaras of, having other situation um, for for gaining more happiness, more degree of happiness than what a human being can have. We somebody can have a desire of going to what, moon. I'm sure none of us have that desire, going to moon and Mars, etc. But our desire is limited to what? Going to different places, perhaps, or perhaps imagining different situation for ourselves that we think may give us more happiness. So when we say dispassion, then this quality of dispassion is dispassion from that expectation that some kind of sense pleasure will give me happiness. That is the viragaha we are talking about. And how will that viraga come, vairagya happen? So viraga is a culmination of viveka. So when your viveka matures, it will culminate into viraga. Like when I was a child, I used to play with marbles, and at that time that was very dear to me. But then, as I grew up, then now those marbles dropped, and now I gained a desire and longing to play with Barbie dolls or whatever, badminton. So, one thing I gained some other desire, a higher desire, and dropped the lower one. So there was no effort in dropping that playing with the marbles. My focus and concentration was what? I just wanted something new, and that playing with the marbles, or it dropped. And so also this viragaha, it's when our viveka will mature, it will give rise to vairagya, meaning that longing that right now I have, that I want to go to this place and that place, or I want to eat here or there, or I want 3 BHK or 5 BHK or 6 BHK, it will drop. So vairagya happens, whereas our focus as a seeker has to be on doing viveka. Having said that, if we find that we still have desire, we still want things, uh, don't worry. Make sure you are not compromising the values in whatever you want to gain, whether it be vacation or a big house or whatever, but keep reminding yourself of the sadhana chatushtaya. Do this viveka, and at some point, when the mind will become mature, it will automatically do its thing. So your job as a seeker right now, I would say, is expose yourself to the teaching, let it do its work. And second thing is, make sure, even if you are desiring something and want you know uh, you know sense pleasures or whatever, uh, vacation or house or whatever, it is the values are not compromised. So those are the two things that I'm going to suggest that all of us have to remember. Third is what? Shamadhi Shatka Sampattihi. So that is called emotional maturity, in other words. So it is the sixfold principle that will give rise to the emotional maturity of the person. Because we have, one is our intellectual thinking, and the second is our emotional personality. So, although we have our thinking of how we should behave, we may not necessarily behave like that. So, there is as though a gap between how we think we should behave and how we actually behave. And this Shamadhi Shatka Sampatti is talking about that level, the behavior part, the behavior aspect. So that also should be mature enough so that there is not a divide, there is not a split between how I think and how I behave. So when I think that I should speak truth, I actually also behave in accordance to that. When I think that I should not be angry, I actually behave like that. When I think that I should be compassionate towards everybody, then I am able to be compassionate to everyone. And what does compassion require? Compassion requires two things. For me to be मेरा क्लास चल रहा है कल्पना जी, कुछ, हाँ, सॉरी, कुछ काम था, हाँ, sorry, where was I? So compassionate requires two things, ahimsa and kshama. Only when our personality will have this ahimsa and kshama, then it will translate into compassion, karuna. See, we find that in a lot of areas, uh, we are able to be वो करुणा होती है ना वो अपो आप वो it flows, that compassion, that karuna, uh, it automatically gets invoked in a lot of areas when we see some helpless person, somebody in need. Then without my saying, my heart goes out and helps that person. That is called compassion. But what happens when somebody speaks to us angrily? Are we compassionate? uh, so in many areas we are not able to accept uh, somebody who is insulting us or somebody who is not affectionate to us. And so, what is happening there? We are not able to understand and we are not able to accept things. So, somewhere these basic principles which drive this value of compassion, which is ahimsa and kshama, uh, we are not able to cultivate properly. It has not developed so much, and uh, so it needs to be toned up. Where was I going with all this? Uh, so Shamadhi Shatka Sampatti, right? That emotional maturity. That's what I was uh, talking about. Um, I took a route, but I want to spend some time there. So, ahimsa, what is ahimsa? Uh, Ahimsa is a big thing where I can do a lecture on ahimsa. Ahimsa is not hurting somebody through our action, through our words, and even mentally thinking about somebody. So if somebody, insulted me, and if in my mind I think, you know, Bhagwan should teach that person a lesson, or, he will have to pay the price, something like that, then that is called himsa. Uh, it will hurt me, it will hurt the other person, but at the very first point, it is going to hurt me. So, ahimsa meaning not to think ill of anyone. Additionally, to go ahead and be able to helpful to the person. Uh, to be able to uh, live this principle of ahimsa, we have to bring another value in our life. What is that? Kshama. Kshama meaning accommodation, meaning acceptance, meaning accepting people's behavior as is, gracefully, without complaint. We can pray for the well-being of the person, uh, but so with when this accommodation is there and this non-violence is there, then this compassion will flow. So, like if I am dealing with a senior person uh, who is not able to, who's in a lot of pain, and so the person behaves childishly. The many times people who are like old age people who are senior, they feel insecure, they have insecurity. I or some people can feel insecure, and they may do things which we may not able to understand, because to us we have been with these people and we have seen them as mature adults, and all of a sudden this person is starting to behave like this. So, and that person may be rude to us. So then, what is supposed to be our approach? My approach should be, you see the person behind the personality, you see that the behavior is it's just incidental. What is the root for that behavior? Is that person like this always? No. Then what is it? Something is bothering that person. That vomit, that person is feeling like is going through motion sickness, therefore he vomited. So is there a use of being upset at somebody who has vomited on you, or is it more sensible to be able to see through that the person vomited out of helplessness? Uh, so we have to, you know, be able to peek through the problems of other and not just focus on the outcome, not just focus on um, you know mm, the outer behavior of the person. If we look into the person, that the person is behaving like this out of pain, unbearable pain, which may be out of the person's misunderstanding or whatever. But when you empathize with them, when you empathize with that pain, then compassion will flow. So, our whole life now, when we are living, Tattvabodha is yes, we will study, but our whole life has to become a process of cultivating and developing and expanding this value of compassion. The compassion which has the pillars, which has behind it the foundation, the pillars as both ahimsa and kshama. So when this ahimsa and kshama will also mature, it will, it will mature into this more of compassion. So, um, where we are not able to accept people who are not acting properly with us, we will be hopefully one day be able to accept them. We'll be able to understand their pain, and we will be able to not resist to help them to do whatever is necessary to provide them the right steps for their well-being. So this is the route to human growth. This is the progress that we as humans have to make in this lifetime. We have to grow as human beings. We have to be, Gandhiji is an ideal. If Gandhiji has been able to live those principles, uh, and let us expose ourselves to whatever he did, uh, we have a living, our Guruji, Swamiji is there, but we have these kind of living characters in front of us who has lived these values, and so let that be the inspiration in our life, and let us commit ourselves to growing this principle of compassion in our life, being able to accept all person with every personality, with every kind of behavior, and be able to grow. At the same time, be also compassionate to ourselves. So that was emotional maturity. We have to work on it, and then mumukshutvam checha iti, and then that desire for moksha is the fourth qualification that the people who are interested in doing this Tattva Viveka, who wants to discriminate on what is changing and what is unchanging, we all need to develop this thing. Then these questions, that why this is so, why this unfairness, why this, injustice, all that will settle. when we develop a compassionate mind. Uh, so then, Vivekah kaha nitya nitya vastu vivekah kaha Shishya asks. What is this nitya anitya vastu vivekah? So Guruji says, Nitya vastu ekam brahma tat vyatiriktam sarvam anityam ayameva nitya nitya vastu vivekah. So there is only one thing that is permanent, which is unchanging, and that is Brahman, or that is Ishvara, Tat Vyatiriktam. Everything other than that Brahman and that unchanging, then that Ishvara is what? Sarvam Anityam. Everything other than Ishvara is Anityam, is impermanent. Ayameva, this alone is the Nitya Anitya Vastu Vivekaha. So, Brahman. So, Brahman, you have to acquaint yourself with this word called Brahman. So, Brahman is right now understand it as another name for Ishvara. So, Ishvara or Brahman is the Nitya Vastu, and everything other than Ishvara is what? Sarvam Anitya, impermanent. Ishvara alone is that unchanging reality. Viraga kaha. Okay, what is this passion? What is Vairagya? Iha Swarga Bhogeshu Icharahityam. Icharahityam. That state where one is devoid of desires. Desires of what? Desire of bhog. Desire in experiencing the experiences of the world here or the world hereafter. Basically, in whatever setup you are or some other setup. Let us put it in that simple way. So, when I become free from the desires uh, for some kind of experience, that I will get happiness out of some experience in this setup or other setup, then that is called Vairagya, Viraga. Then Shamadhi Sadhana Sampatti Ka. What is this Shamadhi Sadhana Sampatti? Then it is listed. The sixfold emotional, the sixfold aspects of emotional maturity are defined as what? Shamaha, Damaha, Uparamaha, Titiksha, Shraddha, Samadhanam, Cha iti. So, Shamaha. Yeah. So, what are they? Now that will be, that is going to be expounded again. Shamakaha. What is Shamaha? Manonigraha. So it is the mastery over the mind. To be able to direct the mind wherever you want it to focus, and not to be driven by the mind. That mind has a craving for ice cream, then okay, let us have an ice cream, irrespective of whether you have that, cold and whatnot. Mind has a craving for mind just got a desire to go somewhere, and even though your understanding is that no, right now is not the right time to go, or I should focus on studies, but no, mind wants to watch cricket, mind wants to do something else, and so it is able to deviate your focus, it is able to deviate your concentration. So, even in everyday living, all these Shamadhi Shatka Sampatti, it is very much needed to be a successful person. To be able to do whatever you desire to do, uh, to be able to have mastery over your personality, uh, all these sixfold set Shama, at least Shama, Dama, and Uparama, is very much essential part of mastering our personality. So, Shamaha is called mastery over mind, meaning to be able to decide something that you want to do and to actually be able to do it without the interference of the mind to do something else, without the distraction that you generally may get. Like we all studied in 10th grades and 12th grades, that okay, we have to focus right now on completing our chapter revision or studying, and our mind, okay, tomorrow I will have this cake, or tomorrow I'll go with some friends, or after 1 hour I'm going to play with my friends. So, how our minds many times got distracted. So, that is what is being talked about. That you decide something and then you do not let the mind, interfere with that goal. Like Arjuna, Arjuna, his mind is what? His mind is focused on piercing, targeting that eye of the bird. He is not even looking at the bird, he is just looking at the eye of the bird, and not only the eye of the bird, not the two eyes of the bird, only one eye of the bird, and not also the eye of the bird. He is just looking at the exact target. So that kind of concentration is being called for, and we are encouraged, we are motivated to develop this kind of personality. Damah kaha chakshuradibahen bahyendriya. So damaha is the control or mastery over the sense organs. That okay, shamaha, okay, I should not eat rasgulla. Let us say I have a vratam today and somebody brought rasgulla. So my mind, first of all, it got this temptation. Oh, let me break this vratam. Let me have this rasgulla today. That idea came. So that idea came, meaning that shamaha, you lost the shamaha. You lost the manonigraha. Now the idea came all right, but now you put that idea into, okay, let it be, fine, I will do another somvara. This somvara, let it be, I will offset it by some more sadhanas. And so at that point, damaha is also lost. So fine, shamaha, we have to make sure it happens, but let us also make sure that if we are not able to um, have at least the control of mind, then at least it is not expressed out through our sense organs. That even though I got a desire, I am still not going to put it into practice. That is called damaha. Okay, I think we will have to put a stop here because I am supposed to be in a program right now. And so from here, we will continue on Friday, right? Same time. So all of
Yes.
you, please put a
Yes.
timer or alarm, and we will meet on Friday.
Okay.
With the prayers, we will start.
Mm.
ॐ पूर्णमदः पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते ॐ शान्तिः 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 हरिः ॐ श्रीगुरुभ्यो नमः हरिः ॐ
Okay.
ॐ
See you all on Friday.
See
See you. Thank you.
Bye. Bye.